No, USA, Russia, Shadowburn versus Genji, Shadowburn versus Seagulls Genji. Both players are going to be running Genji this one. But I do think they hit on it on the analysis test that Gods is going to be the key if USA is going to win this.
Gods is going to be the man of the hour here for Team USA, and I was talking to him a little bit last night, and I told him, it's like, you need to shut down Shadowburn tomorrow for USA to go in here, and that is absolutely going to be the game plan that they're going for.
And this is a huge match just because, I mean, well, it's kind of interesting, right? I mean, when Sweden loses, they get second in the group. It's like now it's like, oh, well, you know, you lose, you have to go against somebody like Korea. If you win, you potentially could go up against Sweden. So no easy opponents when we get out of the group stages. But I do think you look at this matchup, ZP, one thing that could go in Russia's favor is their tank play. It was very good yesterday in the game we casted.
Their tank play was excellent, and the thing about Russia is that it's easy to focus on Shadowburn because he does get all that support from his team, but Russia in general has a pretty good lineup in and about them. The desk was talking a little bit about Unfixed, where one of the more versatile players in the game, where he's played a bit of everything over time. But meanwhile, you take a look at USA. USA, very stacked as well.
Yeah, it'll be a best-of-3 series to decide who gets the first seed in this group. Kicking things off, it'll be on Hanamura. Map number 2 will be Route 66, then Lijiang Tower would be the third map if need be. It'll be USA on defense here first. We'll be seeing them go with a triple tank lineup. It'll be Tailspin on Mei. So it's obviously pretty heavy on the tanks, as you see, and then you're going to have Gods be running that Roadhog. So look to see if he can get those early picks. You'll have Tailspin probably play towards the front, try and build those walls, separate the side of Russia. And I do think I like this comp, ZP, to just slow down Russia a little bit, because I know they rely so much on Shadowburn. We've harped on it a lot. And now with Gods on Roadhog, it'll be easy for him to get those hooks on Genji out of the sky.
And what Gods is going to be looking for is just like Genji. In fact, normally Roadhogs are a little bit more aggressive. I would expect Gods to hold a little bit back and just stay on Shadowburn duty, because you take a look at Russia's composition here, they're not going to have too many people diving back. It's really going to be Shadowburn trying to pierce into the back line. Gods could set up and be ready for him.
And even if Shadowburn doesn't get anything done on Genji, I mean, he just causes such a big distraction that you could have Unfixed come in. It's going to be Messer trying to get sneaky from behind with a charge there early. See a Maywall come in there from Tailspin. It's going to be USA not able to get anything here early. It's going to be Russia just poking. They're actually going to be able to take out Rubicon there. So it's going to be Russia stalling out here, just waiting, and Gods is playing in this up top position. So just like you said, ZP, playing a little bit passive here, just waiting for Shadowburn to try and come over the top, but Shadowburn makes an early adjustment here.
Many a time you'd see Gods here really worrying more about Reds, trying to take down his shield and looking for opportunistic picks, but right now his main worry is Shadowburn. Shadowburn actually taking a look at the lay of the land, has swapped now onto the Tracer. Not something we see him on too often. Gods still hunting him all the same. So Shadowburn definitely has his work cut out for him, as USA knows who public enemy #1 is.
And do you feel like he went away from Genji a little bit too fast? I mean, we haven't even seen like a minute into the game really develop. He goes over to Tracer, and I would have liked to see him stay on Genji a little bit longer, see if he can make it work. But Shadowburn putting down a lot of damage now. Going to use a recall, going to try and get back towards the point, just trying to get away, run the members of Team USA. It's going to be Unfixed, able to take out God. So now let's see if Russia can take advantage of that first early pick.
It is a 6v5 right now, and for Russia, they should be able to push us. They do have ultimates on the table. They have Pulse Bomb, they have Death Blossom, and they're rolling right into the point right now. Unfixed, gonna come in, Death Blossom on the way, takes down Tailspin, gets the double kill, and Russia well on their way to taking this point.
Yeah, Stir uses that nano boost on a Messer. You see that big Earth Shatter come in, knock him down, but he's able to stay alive there, and it's gonna be Seagull on the point with Messer, and he does have a Graviton Surge. Russia in a good spot, just holding position, trying to force USA into an odd spot on the map where they'll have to fight from a really contained area. See Shadowburn just trying to poke there, trying to figure out a way into the USA defense, and Gods now goes over to McCree. So the Roadhog experiment did not last long. Here comes a big Graviton. Shadowburn coming from behind, able to get one, ANAC with one, Unfixed with another, and Russia breaking this open.
Anytime you lose that many people on defense, there is the hope that the offense will mess up and give you an extra pick where you can maybe restabilize. But once Russia did that level of damage, even though the USA was able to stall for a little bit there, it was just very unlikely that they would be able to hold that. And you take a look at Russia right now, momentum-wise, they will have a sound barrier up here in just a moment. Law's going to be on Seagull to land the Graviton to stop them in their tracks. If Seagull doesn't convert on this, Russia could actually have a big moment right here, but there's the Graviton.
Yeah, and I think right now if you're Russia, you see that Graviton come in from USA, you save that sound barrier. It's going to be Seagull able to knock down one player there, and you see a fight going down on the point. Messer's able to win that with ease. Now you're going to see Godspeed fall back, barely makes it out with his life. So they do have that sound barrier. Now they have a Pulse Bomb, and they'll have a Nano Boost Russia for this next team fight. So Russia in a very good spot here.
Russia is in an excellent spot right here. Rubicon, multiple targets here for his nano boost. Likely go on Reds, but could also go on ANAC if they feel like that's going to go through the top a little bit easier. Pretty even fight here as far as ults go. We'll see if Godspeed can set them up with Sound Barrier here in a moment, but the nano boost is in, and here comes Shadowburn.
And Shadowburn just trying to dive behind enemy lines. You can see him on your screen go on top. He's quickly dealt with, though, by Seagull. It's going to be Messer knocked down, but it's going to just get back towards the point, just hunting for the supports, trying to lay out any damage here. Tailspin's going to be able to get one. Messer just swinging his hammer. He's got Seagull there in support. It's going to be Team USA winning that team fight, and Russia burns through all those ultimates.
That was unfortunate for Russia, where they're probably going to have to spend the next minute or two rebuilding their war chest. And for the USA and their defense here, Tailspin is really one of the main threats to kill, because if you can't deal with the Mei, not only is she going to be able to throw the Blizzard on set point, but she can just delay for a really long time. And while she's delaying, the odds that you lose 1 or 2 people drastically increase. And if you lose a person here, it's really hard to actually take the point just due to the nature of defensive respawns.
Yeah, now Russia's going to change up their comp here a little bit, ZP. They're going to get ANAC on Winston. Shadowburn going to go back to that Genji. So what are they trying to accomplish by switching up that comp?
So they're switching things up. Shadowburn back in the Genji. A, it's his bread and butter. B, Dragon Blade is really good for wiping things out here in Hanamura, but here we go. The Graviton surges down. Unfix going down. Deadeye popping up. Not able to get the Happy Low Skulls. The counter Blizzard from Tailspin going to set up the US beautifully as they stop Russia once more.
Yep, only one with the Deadeye. That's the only kill that comes in for Russia during that fight. It's going to be USA holding strong yet again. And now, though, you do see Russia. They're starting to build some ultimates. They're going to have a nano boost. They're going to have a Primal Rage Winston on the side of USA. Sturz getting close to the nano boost. He'll probably have it in the next fight, but they have nothing else. So this is where Russia can really take advantage.
And I expect them to do so. In fact, there's a case here to be made where they might even put in Shadowburn just to have him build up. But here we go. Nano boost is out. Tailspin going to block things out. But Gods, first to fall. 2 quick kills from Russia. Russia is invading this point.
Yeah, Tailspin just getting swarmed on the point. Has to go into his ice block, but there are members from Russia all surrounding him. It's going to be Messer. He's going to be backed up on the point for USA. Doing a nice job just trying to stay alive as long as possible. But here comes Shadowburn with the Dragon Blade. He's able to get one. Hunts a second one down. Dashes across. Putting a lot of damage on the Stir. Nice barrier there, though, coming in from Seagull, keeping Stir alive, and USA just trying anything they can. Gods on the point, picks up 2 big kills. Not enough, though. Russia takes the point with 2 minutes and 38 seconds in their time bank.
And for how hard it can be to take that final point on Hanamura, that is a great round for Russia. They have 2.5 minutes left on their time bank. Let's take a look at this replay here. This is where Tailspin shows the power of man this point, splits them off, drops the Blizzard, and just sets up Team USA for glory.
Yeah, it's a beautiful play there from Tailspin. He did a lot of nice work on Mei in the first half. He goes 12-4, leads USA in eliminations. On the side of Russia, you saw Shadowburn, consistent as always, 11 elims, switching between Genji and Tracer there, giving USA a lot of problems.
It gave them problems. I also think the Tracer switch up, even though Shadowburn is not really as known for playing the Tracer, he drew a lot of attention to the backline, more so than maybe even Genji could have, just because Genji isn't quite as mobile. And that gave Unfix the opportunity to come in, get a few early picks, and that started the snowball for Russia, so they could take that first point.
Yeah, and it was Russia setting a very good time there in our first half. We'll see them on defense now, and they'll come out of the spawn. They talked a little bit about it on the analysis desk, but it's going to be that 3 DPS lineup we've been seeing them run here on Hanamura quite frequently. So they'll have Reaper, McCree, and Genji on defense. And for USA, obviously still some time to change their comp up, but they could have Tailspin, you know, going with Tracer and Seagull on Genji. Just looking at the 2 comps, CP, who would you favor?
It's going to be interesting. I think there's definitely a case to be made for the US here where the double flanking combo of Seagull and Tailspin is going to be pretty hard for Russia to deal with. It's going to come down to Unfix. Will Unfix be able to pressure one, if not both of them, at the same time and buy Russia some breathing room? And I will say this, we did focus on Shadowburn in the pregame, but Seagull, an incredibly deadly Genji as well, and Russia needs to have plans to contain him.
Yeah, and I do feel like for Russia as well, you look when you have this single tank lineup, obviously a ton of pressure is going to fall on Reds here to just stay alive in the front line with so much damage going to be put on him from USA. It'll be Team USA on attack here in the second half. Seagull on his Genji. We've been seeing him do some fantastic things on this hero throughout the tournament, and he's going to go and attack from up high.
it won't just be him as well. Tailspin will try and get to backline. He's already done it. Mezar's going to go in. So 3 members of Team USA don't have to worry about getting split off. Of course, there is no May being played by Russia, but they had no idea of that going in. So the US going to get a free road in, but unfixed with the immediate punish. Mezar is down. So Russia bending a bit here, not breaking, and giving the US a hard time.
And it's interesting, you know, without May on the defensive side of things, Russia just welcomes USA straight through the gate, and Russia's basically like, hey, look, you know, we're just going to try and outkill you guys right on the point. They trust their individual skill to get it done. Shadowburn with a nice long-range kill there onto Gods, and you see he's just poking, getting some damage there, building up that ultimate. A good first hold there from Russia.
It worked out for Russia. They will be able to reinforce, and yeah, you take a look at Shadowburn. He's going to have Dragon Blade up in just a moment. Seagull not going to happen until a little bit later into the second fight, if he even gets it there. So Shadowburn will have an opportunity to catch the US a little bit off guard as the next fight goes underway. And this is interesting too, because as you mentioned, the door is wide open. The US can walk right in, but Russia is all spread out and they're ready for it.
And I feel like it's quite odd. It's like USA, you're not used to being given so much space there at the door, just kind of falling into Russia's trap. You see Shadowburn pulls out the Dragon Blade, barely gets anything with it, doesn't get anything at all. It's going to be Gods getting 2, Tailspin with 1. Things are falling apart for Russia here, ZP.
And that was just unfortunate. Shadowburn got himself out of position. Gods was there to be punished. Has 3 kills so far here on this point. And USA going to be taking point A and beginning their attack now on to point B.
And this looks great for USA. I mean, look at the top of your screen with the ultimates. I mean, Gods will have a Graviton, you'll have a Primal Rage. Winston, you'll have Seagull with a Dragon Blade, Stir with a Nano Boost. If you were USA, you combine a lot of these well here, a good coordinated attack, you could take the point right away.
Absolutely. Russia is in a bit of trouble here. For Russia, the key is they can't get all wiped at the same time. Even if you can't stop Seagull, just don't all die to him here as they come in, because Adam's going to be setting up here with the Lucio sound barrier. And for Russia, they just have to counter sound barrier, back off a bit, and try and drag out the fight as long as possible, because that favors the defenders.
Yeah, if you are USA, you got to put together a really good thought-out push here, combine these ultimates, and take the point. You see Seagull trying to stay alive, gets a barrier there, gonna get a health pack, and it looks like Red's actually just diving in. Here comes the Graviton Surge and the Dragon Blade. Seagull dives right through, and oh, a beautiful May wall there from Unfixed, keeping a teammate alive. Shadowburn picks up 1, coming on a flank, chasing down Seagull. It's a Genji on Genji battle, and it's gonna be Shadowburn just trying to chase down USA back into their spawn, but that was a very good hold from Russia.
It was a good hold, but I think the US threw away a golden opportunity there. Once Stir was picked off, they should have saved all the ults they had, accepted the loss, and come back in at full strength. They threw a lot of ults after nothing there, and now Russia has a great opportunity to reset. They do have the man, the defense now, so Unfixed is going to be impediment. But here comes the US. Sound barrier on the way, rolling onto the point, but not getting any immediate kills as Shadowburn comes in with the counter Dragon Blade.
Yeah, Tailspin has that Death Blossom, but he is frozen solid inside of the point. It's going to be Russia just eliminating all the members of USA. Stir the last one up. Shadowburn with that Dragon Blade and the Nano Boost doing work there. And now Russia starting to mount a very good defensive effort here. You see, since they switched over to May, they've been giving USA a lot of problems.
They have, and May in general is just very, very powerful here on the second point of Hanamura. Her Blizzard covers just about everything. It forces the offense back, and it's creating some issues here for the US, where it's part of why this point can be so hard to take. You have situations like that with May, defensive respawns coming in, and for the US, with only Death Blossom going to this next fight, taking this outright and getting the flawless victory you need is going to be very difficult.
Yeah, I feel like USA going in this next fight just needs to burn some of Russia's ultimates. Don't want to use anything of their own. And actually, Tailspin gets separated from his teammates. Another fantastic Maywall there by Unfixed. Going right for him, just trying to stay up. God picks up 1, Seagull with another. So USA picks up 2 kills. See if they can turn this into anything. It's going to be Tailspin just diving straight through. Going to be able to take out Reds. USA needs to get on the point here, ZP.
They do need to get on the point, but the problem is they did lose a person as they went in. And this is always a problem, because here come the respawns. ANAC back to the fight. Unfixed takes down Seagull, and Russia will be ejecting the US from this point. The respawn advantage is way too strong.
Yeah, and ANAC gets that Nano Boost, just dives right into the backline of USA, just hunting down Adam. Adam barely able to stay alive. And you see it's going to be ANAC and Shadowburn just taking out Messer there at the end. So USA is going to have to wait for their Reinhardt to spawn back up. But they do have some ultimates to work with USA in this next fight. They'll have, you know, the Death Blossom still on Tailspin. Stir's getting very close to the Nano Boost, and you'll have Gons with the Deadeye. So we'll see if they can combo those, start to get something going here on the offensive end.
And the key is for the U.S. is that you look at the few times they have had sound barrier, they've been using it a little bit later in the fight. They need to open with it earlier before someone gets picked off. They just ate a lot of poke damage right now. They're lucky no one died. And here comes Shadowburn, Dragonblade out once more, catching Zarya off guard here, but God, the immediate punish. And we'll see if they can do anything with it.
Yeah, now that is the kill I feel like USA needed, and it's going to be 3 more coming in for USA on Fix with another Maywall trying to separate USA as they push in, but here comes Gods with the Deadeye. He's not able to get anything for it. See, Tailspin jumps down onto the point. It's going to be Gods' job to just stay at range here, just poking on the damage. Nice shots there, taking out Shadowburn. That is the battle we talked about coming into this matchup. Gods with a big kill there. It does not matter, though, that Maywall comes in, separates USA yet again. Unfixed has been so good on May, separating USA and making these fights very difficult.
And they're going to pile onto the staggering. Mezar going to fall there from that ice wall. And this is getting rough here for the U.S. They only have about 2 minutes left. They do have a war chest that is building, but X, that's going to give them maybe one good fight. They will have one window of opportunity. And if they use these ultimates and get nothing, that might be it.
Yeah, but it's not like Russia doesn't have anything either, right? I mean, Unfixed getting very close to a Blizzard, Red to an Earth Shatter. So they do have some things they could combo here. And here comes Tailspin. He's going to be nano boosted on Reaper. The sound barrier comes in for USA. He's going to push in straight up top. You see a big Earth Shatter coming in, but the May Blizzard coming in from Unfixed on Russia. Tailspin able to get nothing there with the Death Blossom, and they're going to have to back out. Things are not looking good for Team USA.
Unfixed just delivering a very unfavorable weather report to USA there. And now, that was a lot of ultimates that were used. That was almost their entire war chest. They're going to have to come in with a minute 15 left. Only Graviton on the table. Seagull, he's been a hero many times for this USA team, but this could be mission impossible, especially when you consider that a nano Dragonblade could be on the menu here for Russia.
Yeah, that is definitely something you do not want to see if you're Team USA. A nano boosted Dragonblade coming at you in the hands of Shadowburn. So you see USA looks like they're going to try and set up here and go up top, and now actually they're diving to go down low. It's going to be Tailspin switching over from Reaper onto Tracer, and here comes Shadowburn though with the Dragonblade and the nano boost. He gets taken out quick, and it's going to be Tailspin trying to pick up kills in the backline. Here comes Messer diving into the point. 2 kills from Gods though opens things up, and here's USA's best advantage here, ZP. They need to get the point.
And they still have the Graviton. Gods opening the way. Seagull now could seal it as the respawns will be coming in, but that Graviton still a point here for Seagull. Everything going the way of USA. And Seagull, he's holding on to it right now. Doesn't want to throw it into the D.Va defensive matrix. Graviton is out, gonna pull in the remaining respawns, and USA very close now to taking this point.
Yeah, USA invests a lot into this fight, but it looks like it does not matter. You see Shadowburn trying to come from on top, can't get on the point to contest. USA takes the second point, a minute left in their time bank. So USA gets stalled out for a while. They are trying to take that second point, ZP. They switch up at the end. I feel like God's really a difference maker. You know, when you saw that nano boosted Dragonblade of Shadowburn come in, he got nothing with it at the end. As soon as they take him out, USA just overwhelms Russia after that point.
And that is what was needed out of Gods there, where you get that one key pickoff. A pickoff on someone who just used a whole ton of resources, had the nano boost, had the Dragonblade. From there, it was just great. And now, US has opened the door, because even though they have a minute left, they can take this point on the first attack. It puts a lot of pressure on Russia to actually win the map as opposed to just getting a draw, because Russia then would have to take first point and take second, which is easier said than done.
Yep, we will see what happens. It's a very close match between USA and Russia. I think we expected USA to be in this position. I don't want to say we expected Russia. You know, coming into this, we all talked about how good Germany could possibly be, and Russia beats them. Russia beats Chile yesterday. And they have just been one of the standout teams. I feel like they've been one of the surprise teams here this week. I feel like a lot of the groups have gone how we expected. This one could be the one you talk about could have been a little bit different.
It definitely could have been a little bit different. It was interesting how Germany evolved, where Germany wasn't quite as strong as we thought they would be. I think Russia came in stronger than we thought they might be. I mean, we knew Shadowburn was good, but the rest of his team has been playing very well with him, and this has been one of our best matches here thus far. We're going to see how it ends here in just a moment as USA, a minute left on the clock, moving forward to point A.
So it'll be USA here on attack, only a minute to go. They're going to have to make something happen here quick. You see Tailspin darts right in as Tracer, just trying to get behind enemy lines. Did a fantastic job of it last time, just causing a distraction, just being a nuisance. And that's going to allow USA just move all the way up the stairs. And USA actually going with a single tank lineup here. Seagull at the end switches off that Zarya, goes over to Genji. So we'll see. It's going to be a very aggressive composition here for USA with Tailspin on Tracer and Seagull on Genji, trying to force some engagements on the point. It's going to be kills traded out, but they do take out Stir, so they're going to lose the Ana USA. That's not good, obviously. You want that sustainability, but Shadowburn drops, and here's USA's chance.
USA moving in. God's on a rampage, has 3 kills here thus far, picking things off with Tailspin, and USA, it's looking like they will be taking this first point. And man, what can we say about Gods here, X, where the last part of the last round and now the beginning of this round, he's been coming in huge for the US.
Oh, well, his McCree, I mean, he has shut down Shadowburn. I mean, well, not really shut down, but he's done a fantastic job containing Shadowburn. Nobody really shuts him down. But now 24 seconds left on the clock. USA, not a lot of time at all to even get onto the point here. Gonna look for Tailspin to probably try and contest, and then maybe just flood in. And you see Tailspin on your screen as Tracer trying to dart in, get a touch on the point. It's gonna be 10 seconds left though. The Maywall's coming in though. Unfix is able to get 2. Things starting to fall apart for USA. God's going to get the Deadeye reflected right back in his face by Shadowburn. And the kills coming in for Russia. They were able to hold there on the second point.
There's one thing about Shadowburn. Shadowburn likes returning things to people. Throw it out, he'll bring it right back to you. Gets more clutch reflex than probably any other Genji in the scene. But still, for the US to have that successful first attack, a lot of pressure now in Russia because even though they had a very good first attack, taking that second point going to be very difficult. And for the US, if they can get away with this with a draw, they are going to be more than happy with that.
So do you think USA changes anything up? In the first time on defense, they didn't have that McCree. They went with Roadhog. You see the stats here from Seagull, you know, doing a fantastic job on Genji, and we see him playing a lot of Zarya in this matchup. But on the defensive end, USA, they went with 3 tanks. They had the Roadhog, they had a Mei. Do you think they change it up here on defense now?
I would hope they change it up because clearly Gods right now is the hot hand on the McCree. Great plays last round, beginning of this round. I think you stick with that. Go with what's working. It's not always about what is the best meta-wise. It's also the best about what people are actually comfortable on. So we're going to take a look at the defense as it comes out for the US, and guess what? God's going to be on that McCree.
Yeah, it's smart. We saw Tailspin do a lot of nice things at the Overwatch Open on Roadhog, so Tailspin's going to go Roadhog here. Look for him to try and work with Gods to take out Shadowburn on his Genji. Now, we have seen Tailspin have a phenomenal game thus far, 35-9. You know, we talked a lot about Seagull here for USA. Tailspin, a phenomenal player as well.
So we're seeing here with Tailspin on the Roadhog instead of the Mei, the US is valuing containing Shadowburn over basically anything else because a McCree is a big threat to a Genji, so is a Roadhog. Shadowburn is going to have to weave through a whole lot of obstacles here if he wants to get anything done.
And I feel like that's the way you kind of have to build your comp going up against Russia, because they build their entire game plan around Shadowburn, right? Supporting him, making sure you can go off with Genji on the other side. On defense, obviously, you got to build your game plan around shutting him down. So see Messer up front, just putting down a flame strike here, but here comes the attack from Russia. They're coming in pretty fast, and it looks like USA not prepared for it, and God's putting down some shots at range, and there you go, big first kill there for USA. Rubicon just a little bit far from his teammates, not able to get anything going. Seagull grabbing one. You see the health bars of the members of Russia, they are dwindling down. See Gods with a nice flashbang there. They're able to take out Shadowburn, so a good first hold here from USA.
Rubicon was definitely way too far away from his team there. Everyone went to their right side. Rubicon kind of went straight up the middle, didn't get the memo, and Gods was there for the immediate punish. Now with 2.5 minutes left, we did mention that it's pretty likely Russia would take this first point, but there is the possibility the US could hold here and actually take this map, so Russia cannot rest easy. They will have the Dragon Blade going into this next fight, though.
Yeah, that just looked odd. I mean, Rubicon, I mean, the rest of his teammates go right. He just kind of casually walks up the middle of the map. Maybe he did not know Gods was up top, able to just put down a lot of damage on him. But now Russia going to have another attempt here. They do have a lot of time. They have the Nano Boost, and they have Dragon Blade. You see it's going to be Shadowburn getting up top, using the Dragon Blade. The sound barrier, though, comes in for USA. They're able to live through it, and USA is going to get the three big first kills at the beginning here. Stir doing a nice job staying alive, and as I say that, the caster curse comes true. He falls, and it's going to be Unfixed, picking up 2 kills in this fight as well. So now if Russia can just stay alive here, the spawners will come in fast for them, and they may be able to rush onto this point.
That is very likely to happen. That's unfortunate. God's actually had 3 kills in that fight, opened up the double kill Deadeye, got the final kill towards the end. Unfortunately, US dying all around him right now. They're going to have a chance to maybe run into a point at the last moment, but this is dangerous. If they come in and get wiped, Russia will have a moment to go back in. It's unfixed. The Death Blossom comes in, immediately deletes Gods. And Russia now in a great position to really carry some momentum in the point B if they take point A here.
Oh, and I mean, Russia has a sound barrier here, and they have the Graviton Surge. They don't need to use either ZP to get the point. That is huge for Russia going forward. Now you think they can charge up fast, they can use that sound barrier and the Graviton Surge, combine those and take advantage.
Haste is the game right now for Russia. They're going to move in. Graviton pulls in 2. It's going to be 2 quick kills, but Gods, trying to be the savior again, has taken down Shadowburn, stops him in his tracks. Russia still 5 members up, but they're down that big cannon of DPS, and the US has a chance to bring this back as the Mei comes into play.
Yeah, Tailspin switches over to Mei, just trying to stall out for as long as he can. You see Reds, he is a nano boosted Reinhardt. He gets boosted up there by the Mei wall of Tailspin. He's just trying to take out Tailspin, stopping him from contesting in the corner, but God's up top still putting down a lot of damage. Russia finally able to deal with him. ANAC fully charged up here on Zarya. Stir inside of the point. Mezzer trying to get back into the fight for USA. Shadowburn right on top of him. Shadowburn with the Dragon Blade now. You see D.Va coming out from the USA. They're trying to do anything they can to hold on here.
They are trying. That was a huge play from ANAC. Shadowburn comes in, gets pulled in by the Graviton Seagull. Not giving in just yet. Back into the fray. Will go down the Godspeed, and it is a brawl here for this fight. Russia trying to put everything in. Godspeed even picking up 2 kills as the Lucio, as it's a little bit crazy here. Both teams responding, but the defense, they're going to get fully back on set point before Russia, just because of respawns. Russia's gonna have 1 more final attempt here, X. 15 seconds remaining. Can Russia take this map, or will it be a draw?
Yeah, now Start has the nano boost for USA. Russia has absolutely nothing right there, though. At the end of that fight, Adam actually burns the sound barrier on the side of USA. We'll see if that comes back to bite him. It looks like, though, it won't happen. Gods is gonna be able to pick up 1, Messer with another. You see unfixed behind enemy lines. We have a nano boosted D.Va on our hands as well. I don't see that every day. It's going to be Tailspin dropping down. He's able to get 1. Shadowburn gets taken out by Gods. And that is going to be it, ZP. Going to be a draw.
And it's going to be a draw, but I got to say, what a Herculean effort coming out from USA to pull that back, at least make it a draw in the end, and Gods just did amazing.
Yeah, fantastic play from both teams. You see how evenly matched USA and Russia are. The kills in that one, it was USA 200, Russia 185. And one of the closer kill disparities we see between the teams. You saw nano boosted D.Va there at the end coming out from USA. I don't see that too often. And now you saw the stall comp coming in from USA. They had Mei, they had D.Va getting back on the point. Russia did a good job disengaging, but I think once they disengaged, they realized it's like, well, who has an ultimate up? It's like, nobody. And then at that point, they couldn't really get anything doing.
And that was really the trouble for Russia, and actually, once they gave up first point against US for that 1-minute tech, that's what really set the stage here, because even though you can take the first point reasonably consistently with 3 minutes, taking first and second is hard. You have to hope for the crazy snowball, which Russia almost had, but we saw some very good play coming out of the US to stall it out. Tailspin on the Mei. Gods with some of the most clutch McCree that we have seen over the course of the tournament. It's been great.
I feel like when Russia got onto that point there at the NZP, they just like Gods just stay up top for way too long and just put down so much damage on McCree. I mean, he was up there for, it felt like, 45, 50 seconds before anyone dealt with him. He finally had to jump down, but I think the damage was done. He just got everybody on Russia so low inside the point that they weren't able to heal back up, and then the stalling came in from USA, and Russia was just not able to overcome it.
And here's the thing, too. When you're applying pressure to a Genji like Shadowburn, even if you don't get the kill, shooting him twice is going to make him back out. He's not going to be diving your backline. He's not going to feel comfortable. So you don't always even have to get the kills to have a huge impact on your team.
And the second map in the series will be Route 66. It'll be USA here on the defensive side of things, and we'll be seeing Tailspin go with Roadhog yet again. So you see just putting a lot of effort into shutting down Shadowburn. Gods on McCree, Tailspin on Roadhog. That is to take down the Genji from the side of Russia.
You know what's funny here is that Zarya is totally okay in this comp, but there's part of me that wonders why not go all the way, where if Russia is really basing so much of the strategy around supporting Shadowburn, why not even throw in a Winston here? Have Winston, Roadhog, McCree, where no matter where Shadowburn would look, Genji would have problems across the board. Either way, though, I do think the setup is still pretty good coming up from the U.S.
Yeah, so just to clarify, with the draw rules, obviously, if one team were to win here, we do go to Lijiang Tower. If the same team were to win, the series is a 2-0. If it's a 1-1-1 at that moment in time, we will go to a best of 3 on Nepal, so just to clarify. So a lot of people at home probably like, hey, what happened? They drawed. We're on the second map. Yeah, that's what happens here. We just keep moving on. We're okay with draws here, the Overwatch World Cup, and it'll be United States on defense, Russia on the attack. They are going to stick with Shadowburn on Genji, and you'll have Unfixed on McCree. So look for him to put down a lot of shots. You do look, though, ZP, I am a little bit worried from Russia. You know how they're going to be able to get on top of Big Earls, really force USA down. It looks like they're just going to try and consistently just poke down with some damage.
That does appear to be the plan. The one thing that is a little bit weird, too, is that a lot of times you can run a Winston with Genji, and it's a great 1-2 punch. They're really just letting Shadowbird be his own thing right now, look for his own opportunities. He's one of the few Genjis in the game that can actually do that. But still, getting into the backline, where he does have to worry about the McCree, he does have to worry about the Roadhog, Shadowburn has to weave through a whole lot of obstacles here, and the U.S. is not making it particularly easy on him.
Yeah, and I feel like Shadowburn just has to be so cautious for even, you know, knowing that Tailspin has that hook on Roadhog. It's like once you see the hook come out and you know it's on cooldown, that's when Shadowburn can start to get aggressive. But it's going to be Shadowburn jumping on top here, on top of Big Earls for Russia. Needs to be very careful. Everybody from USA up top. And now it's going to be interesting. USA has a little bit of a dilemma here, ZP. They have to decide whether they're going to jump down and take the fight to Russia or keeping control of Big Earls.
Things are going to explode here sooner rather than later. Tailspin right now a little bit back looking for the hook, but the Graviton comes out, sets up Gods for 2. Tailspin going to get the third, and that Graviton coming out so quickly from Seagull lets USA take the first fight.
Yep. It's going to be Russia falling there. They do make some good movement of the payload, though. You see how far it's gone, almost past the gas station. It's going to be Shadowburn with a Dragon Blade and Rubicon with a Nano Boost. So look for those two to be combined in the next fight. You see Shadowburn, he'll dash all the way up top into the sky, then pull out the Dragon Blade and just dart down from above. Just causes such a distraction for USA.
We've seen that movie so many times before, and we're about to see it again. Here comes Shadowburn, taking to the sky, diving to the backline. It's high noon. He doesn't care. Takes down Gods, but is going to get charged all the way to the back. Mezar from downtown.
Yeah, he goes for a ride there, but when they just bring so many members of USA all the way into the back, it allows Russia to just stack onto the payload and keep it moving. And now you see the members of USA just darting over the bridge, trying to get back towards the payload. It's going to be Seagull able to take out one here. USA gets control. Looks like Russia's going to disengage. They knew they lose a few members, weren't going to win that fight.
They weren't going to win the fight, at least they got a lot of payload progress. Now they know all they need is one good team fight to bring it forward. And you take a look at the tools they're going to have for that. They will have the Sound Barrier. They will have the Graviton Surge. Mezar is going to have an Earth Shatter, but might not be enough here. So Russia, they definitely have a bit of an edge going forward. We'll see if they can capitalize, but I'll tell you this much, X. Minute 30 left. If they fail this fight somehow, it is not going to be looking good.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, obviously, they could invest that Graviton in Sound Barrier into this fight. I think you may want to hold on to it, though, and get one really good, strong fight, combining a lot of ultimates at the end. It's going to be Tailspin very close to a whole hog, and here you see Russia trying to make their way through the gas station. Such a dangerous area, such a narrow choke, that something as powerful as a whole hog can really do a lot of damage. You see a Graviton Surge coming in from the side of Russia. They're able to get one with it, make it 2 on Fix, picking up 2 big kills on McCree. You see Shadowburn, he switches things up. He goes over to Reaper. He darts through, and there comes the Graviton in from USA there at the end. Seagull, though, the only one alive when he drops it, and it's going to be Russia getting a team kill there, advancing the payload.
So, in the beginning, I was going to say that wasn't just a win, but an ult economy win. But Russia threw a lot of extra ultimates there towards the end of the fight that I don't think they needed to do. They had a bunch of ults after the first 3 kills. They should have just held on to them. I mean, it's great that they got the point, but now the U.S. much stronger in ult economy.
Yeah, it's a beautiful Graviton Surge there coming in from Anox. They'll put it there on top of Big Earls. Unfixed, able to go to town there on McCree, take out 2 players, and now it's going to be Russia advancing the payload. The ultimate advantage, though, is in favor of USA right now. Stir has the Nano Boost. He has Tailspin with Whole Hog, Mezar with an Earth Shatter directly in front of him, so could cause a lot of problems for Russia here. But it's interesting, though. Team USA, they're a little bit split. It looks like they have some players playing the high ground, some players low. It's an interesting defensive setup.
It is an interesting defense where they have to be careful not to let anyone get picked off early. They have the ult advantage. It's not going to matter if they lose one, but Gods, he's going to be the one that gets the first pick off, takes down ANAC, and now look for the US to be even more aggressive. They should be able to clean things up. Sound Barrier is in, and here comes the United States.
Yeah, and it's going to be Tailspin, Whole Hogged, and Nano Boost. Shadowburn's able to stay alive, but it's going to be a beautiful sneak dart from Rubicon, able to knock down Tailspin. So they do use the Whole Hog and the Nano Boost. They don't get a lot for it. I mean, Russia just falls back. They're going to reset. You have Shadowburn with the Death Blossom, and they have a Nano Boost. So look for Russia to combine those. Mezer's going to need to land a big Earth Shatter to shut that down.
He absolutely will. And now there's only 1 minute remaining. Russia under the pressure from the time right now. And they're going to be moving in. This is effectively a must-win fight for them. If they somehow lose this with the ult advantage, that should be it. And Shadowburn moves in. The Nano Boost on him into the Death Blossom, takes down 3, and rolls right into this US team.
Oh, and he is hunting down Adam. Adam is in a world of trouble. He falls, just trying to escape, cannot get away from the members of Russia. And Shadowburn's going to get into position here, just trying to take some of the spawners out for USA, seeing if there's any stragglers left. And now it'll be Russia advancing the payload. 25 seconds left. Unfixed does have that Deadeye, so could pop that to just zone the players of USA out, trying to keep them from coming from up top. But Messer just comes out as Reinhardt, and you see Unfixed set up top. They do not know he's there. He's going to just dart out, using this as a zoning mechanic, trying to find somebody, but quickly he's going to get flashbanged by Gods. Nice shots there, though, from Unfixed. The Graviton comes in there from Team USA, and now it's going to be the Graviton from Russia, much more effective. Just up top, trying to contest, is going to be Tailspin on Tracer down low. They're finally able to take down Messer. It's going to be Tailspin trying to stay alive on the payload. He falls. All 6 members of Russia stay alive through the fight. They advance the payload to the 2nd checkpoint. Now ZP, things starting to get dicey for Team USA.
Team USA, they've had Russia on the ropes twice now. Russia, though, staying alive, not letting themselves get pushed back. They're not going to have a whole lot ult-wise here, but neither is the US in the very beginning. They are very close to getting 2 support ultimates, but if Russia can somehow force this fight in the next 10 seconds or so, they could take this as Gods goes down immediately. Russia with that first pickoff, and here they come once more.
Yeah, Shadowburn is actually hiding in that corner, and Unfixed spots Gods from up top, calls it out. Gods has absolutely zero idea Shadowburn is that close, and here you see a Deadeye coming in, though, from the side of Russia. Unfixed, not able to get anything with it. Here comes a Death Blossom from Shadowburn, gets hit with a grenade there. Beautiful play by Star. The sound barrier comes in from USA as well, able to help them stay alive through that. It's going to be USA wiping Russia here. Now Russia with 35 seconds left, CP. They have an Earth Shatter, they have a Nano Boost. They need to combine those. They need to make a miracle happen.
The miracle has to happen here because they're under 30 seconds remaining right now. Here's the Deadeye we saw from God just a moment ago, but we are going into the last fight. It all comes down to this. Will Russia be able to complete this map that brought the payload far? But they move in. They're just going to get Earth Shattered to start out this fight. Mezar going in, sets up Tailspin, and it's 2 quick kills here for the US.
Yeah, Shadowburn's going to be able to get 1, so it's going to be Russia just staying alive here. Anak drops his Graviton, and now you have Russia moving the payload, ZP. Getting very dangerous here for Team USA. Seagull does have his Graviton surge, so look for him to just wait for his teammates to come off the spawn, then drop it, and there you see the Graviton comes in. 1 for Seagull, 1 for Tailspin. Darting on top of the payload is Tailspin on Reaper, but he's quickly shut down. That's going to be Reds coming in for Russia with an Earth Shatter. It's going to be Seagull trying to stay alive, trying to do damage. It's going to be a Diva coming out for USA. Unfixed calls in his Deadeye, looking for players of USA. They are all on the spawn. Russia completes the map.
Russia, that was a tale of survival. Going all the way back to the first point. Russia almost getting stopped there. Then going into second, almost getting stopped there. And in third, almost getting stopped there. So for Russia, they had to fight every step of the way. But X, they stayed alive. They were able to bring the payload to the end, and now the US has a bit of a problem on their hands.
Well, I think the stats kind of tell the story in this matchup, ZP. You know, Gods did a fantastic job shutting down Seagull in that first map, and shutting down Shadowburn in the first map, you know, forcing things out to be a draw. Right now, you have Gods sitting at 7-8, Shadowburn 22-4. So you can see when Shadowburn is going off, whether it's with Reaper or Genji, Russia can run through USA, really putting a lot of pressure on Gods.
It is putting all sorts of pressure here on Gods, and for him, what we saw from him on Hanamura, where he really came out with those great McCree plays at the right moments, he's going to have to do that again here on Route 66. He's going to have to do it all throughout the entire series, because let me tell you, you might look at that and go, oh, they ran out of time at the very end as they capped it. Well, here's the thing about Route 66. You don't get a whole lot of time to begin with, and oftentimes in the pro scene, you don't really see teams really get it to the end as often as you might think. So the US still is going to have a tough time as they try and complete out this map.
And I just want to ask you a question, just get your opinion on it. You know, when Russia gets that first point, advancing towards the second one in that Streets phase, it's like, When USA, where they were split, where they had a few members on bottom, few members up top, do you think they should have probably put everybody up top to try and hold that? I feel like that's where they had an opportunity to really stop Russia.
I think for them, it's not so much even the position there. I do think they should have been a little bit more grouped. They had an ultimate advantage, so I think for them, the key was just no pickoffs. No matter what, play safe, don't get picked off, because the problem is that when you do give that early pickoff, your ultimate advantage matters way less.
There'll be USA on offense. Tailspin will be going with Tracer. You see Gods on McCree, so it'll be actually a 3 DPS setup on offense here for the United States. A lot of pressure on Messer now as the only tank. We'll see how USA decides to attack Russia here. Saw Tailspin very effective on Hanamura as Tracer trying to be sneaky here, getting behind enemy lines. He gets underneath the gas station, so we'll see what he decides to do. Obviously, probably going to try and come up this back staircase, just surprise the members of Russia.
And he does just that. He hasn't been spot out at the moment. And Shadowburn has found him. Gonna push Tailspin back a bit here, but while this is happening, the US is getting pretty good progress on the payload. They're still at very good HP, so Russia, at some point soon, is gonna have to decide to move in. Shadowburn is at 55% ultimate charge, almost gets taken out by Tailspin there, so a little bit back and forth between these two flankers.
Yeah, Tailspin just doing a nice job being a nuisance, not allowing Shadowburn to just focus on the front of the USA push, and we'll see the fight start to get underway. Gon's putting down a lot of nice damage up top. They actually connect with a flashbang onto Shadowburn, and they're able to deal with him quickly. Right there, you saw the barrier from ANAC coming in onto Shadowburn, not enough to keep him alive, and Gods with some nice shots there on McCree. He's gonna call in the Deadeye, able to put down some damage. Seagull up top to finish it off. He is actually nano boosted with a Dragon Blade, so could not go any better there for USA.
This is exactly the speed that the US needed if they wanted to bring this to the end and give themselves a time advantage going into the next round. So for the US, everything going well for them. And let's talk about what else is going well. They will have Earth Shatter into the next fight. They have a Pulse Bomb, which Tailspin can use to stagger Russia even more. However, for Russia, we've seen this movie before, X. Nano boost into Dragon Blade with a sound barrier. Russia very likely win the next fight if they expend all those ultimates.
Yeah, and you see the difference in the defensive setups here between USA and Russia. USA played some players on the bottom, some players up top. Russia playing the bridge here on defense. Now you see the Dragon Blade coming in from Shadowburn. He's able to just wipe through 3 players. ANAC switching things up. He's going to go from Zarya to Winston. He's able to get one. Messer dealt with quickly. A very nice win there for Russia in that team fight, and they hold on to the sound barrier.
Yeah, and that's a real upside, is that they play the ult economy game pretty well here, where it would have been easy to throw all 3 in there. They realized we don't really need it, because look at this replay of Shadowburn, just diving right in, cutting them to ribbons. And this is the threat of Shadowburn, where he can do this with Dragon Blade. He can do it without Dragon Blade. And as good as Gods has been about suppressing him, you can't suppress him every time.
Now you see Unfixed going back into the action. He is going to have the Deadeye, going to force some of the members of USA back. Almost connects with a kill there, though. It's going to be a barrier keeping Stir alive. And you see now the sound barrier coming out for Team Russia, but it's going to be Messer with a big Earth Shatter, knocking down some opponents, and Gods coming from behind. He's going to be able to connect with one there. Nice flashbang, nice sneak attack there. Going to be able to take out Unfixed. You see the Primal Rage of ANAC. He's going to go up into the sky. Nice centering there from Gods. Able to take out Shadowburn. And now you see USA starting to move the payload further up. They do have some ultimates. Look for Tailspin here in this next fight with that Pulse Bomb. Seagull getting close to that Graviton to combine those and get that second checkpoint.
This is going very well for the US. They still have a lot of time left in their bank. 2 minutes and 15 seconds. This is way ahead of where Russia was. But here we go again. Shadowburn, Nano Boost in once more. About to have the Dragon Blade. So Shadowburn doing his best to keep Russia in this. Goes to that backline. Takes down Stern, but Gods taking down 2 of his own. And Messer with the big hammer right to Shadowburn's face.
Yeah, and Guts actually gets nano boosted during that fight on McCree. He's able to take out 2. Seagull takes out Shadowburn towards the end, and it looks like USA going to be able to get to this next checkpoint, and they're going to keep that Graviton surge. Tailspin uses the Pulse Bomb during it, but they have that Graviton. That'll be huge if USA is going to take this 3rd checkpoint, complete the map, and they have a lot of time here, ZP. 3 minutes is an eternity.
3 minutes is a very long time, although this is a point that can be pretty easy to defend. Ult-wise, things are a little bit more reset here. There is a Graviton, though, by Seagull, and Seagull has had great Gravitons in the series here thus far. This could be an opportunity for the US where, if they can get the Graviton down before Reds can Earth Shatter, they could make something happen and really put Russia on the back foot.
Yeah, and with Gods coming to life, that's going to force Shadowburn to switch things up. He's going to go over to Mei now, switching from his trusted Genji. You see it's going to be Gods dropping down there, trying to force some fights here, and it's going to be Reds getting knocked down for a split second there. He's going to get back up, just trying to put that barrier up, but Tailspin has done such a good job just being a nuisance. It's going to be on Fix dealing with him, Shadowburn picking up one, and now you see Russia, they're going to get that speed boost from Godspeeds, just trying to get forward, take out the remaining members of Team USA.
But take a look at the US. They actually sandbagged that fight a bit. They did not use any ultimates. They're saving it up, and they are coming in with an enormous war chest going to this next fight. Russia, unless they get just the Earth Shatter of the Gods, very likely to get pushed back here. Doesn't mean they're going to lose this, but Shadowburn, we'll see if he can. He has Blizzard up now. He's going to open things up before the US can even engage.
Yeah, I was going to say that Blizzard needed to be huge for Russia, and as soon as it comes down, USA is able to live through it, and it's going to be Seagull dropping that Graviton. They're able to get two. Adam's going to grab one, and now you see a big Earth Shatter coming down. They knock down on Fix. It's going to be Tailspin darting right to the back, taking out two. USA advancing the payload, ZP. Now you have Russia coming off the spawn. They're going to have a lot of ultimates.
They have a lot of ultimates coming up. They will have a chance to contest this. The US so close to their final point right now, but Russia not going to give it up easily. The Graviton surges in, and Reds moving in, swinging his hammer into that party. Has to back out a little bit. The US weathering the storm. It's going to be God, Nano Boost in the back. Has targets in his sights, looking for the pickoffs, not able to get them. And next, the US and Russia just brawling it out here at last.
Yeah, Tailspin gets one, but now it's going to be no follow-up here from USA. They're going to have to back out a little bit. They're going to have to get some of these ultimates, but only a minute to go, and they're not really close to anything. It's going to be a big Blizzard coming in here from Russia. It's going to be Shadowburn able to take out two. Fantastic timing with the Blizzard, and you see Shadowburn, trying to wall off some of the members, trying to get another pick. Not able to do so. 48 seconds left. You see how close USA was there to getting the goal. Did not happen. Unfixed has Deadeye for Russia. The side of USA, you're getting close to the Nano Boost. Going to have to use that probably on Messer to open this up.
That is their only hope going forward here. Stir will have to set up Mezar because with 28 seconds left, this is the US's final opportunity to even up this map. Russia on the verge of taking Route 66. We're just going to wait for that opening. Sound Baron to Nano Boost. Here comes the US.
Yeah, and it's going to be Gods with a Deadeye as well. You see him trying to get set up on top of the 18-wheeler, cause a distraction here, but Unfix has a Deadeye of his own for Russia. See a Pulse Bomb coming out there from Tailspin. He's not able to get anything with it. There comes the Graviton Surge as well. Unfix trying to find targets here for Russia. Gets nothing with the Deadeye, and now it's going to be just trying to get something going, and it's going to be over. USA never gets back towards the payload.
They definitely could have gotten on the payload there. Did they just lose track of time?
No, I believe the Graviton comes in from the side of Russia and holds them back.
The Graviton was holding there, but still, the fact that everyone got hit on there, that just positioning-wise, a few mistakes coming out from the US there.
Yeah, definitely quite odd there from Team USA. The end, Shadowburn though, 34-9, too much for USA to deal with. Gods on McCree there, comes alive in the second half, finishing things off at 18-12. It'll be Russia up 1-0. We have a head-to-head matchup. Obviously, we talked a lot about it in the pregame. Both Genjis for their respective teams. Shadowburn, though, really picking it up there in Route 66.
Shadowburn had a huge game. Now, in fairness to Seagull, he was doing double duty. Sometimes he was on the Zarya, sometimes he was on Genji. It's not quite a one-to-one, but these are definitely two of the big stars for the respective teams, and Shadowburn has been having himself a day.
Yeah, and I think tank play has been very good for Russia. I mean, obviously, we talk a lot about Shadowburn and how good he is. He's their DPS superstar, but the tank play for the side of Russia, specifically ANAC, has been very good, and Reds obviously on Reinhardt doing a nice job just blocking that incoming damage, playing in the front, making a lot of the calls, deciding when they're going to engage, when to fall back. Now Russia, one map away from taking this group. I think that's a little bit surprising, obviously. We talked about Russia. Surprise story here, I guess, so far at the Overwatch World Cup. A lot of the other groups went the way we thought they would, and now it'll be Lijiang Tower to end things off.
Lijiang Tower, this is where it really comes down to how teams handle each other. It's a lot more one-on-one fights. It's a lot more individual matchups with DPS. It's a little bit more on mechanics. And what we're going to be seeing here over and over again, it will be that Gods matchup versus Shadowburn. But tank play is going to matter a lot here too. ANAC and Reds have had great games here so far. Seagull has also had a good Zarya. So across the board, this is pretty stacked. I will say though, I do kind of like the Roadhog coming out here from Tailspin.
Yeah, with Shadowburn though, showing a little bit more versatility. Not solely running Genji, he's actually going to be running Reaper here at the start. We saw him play Mei in the last one, coming through with a few big blizzards. Now we'll get things underway here in our third map of the series. And just to remind you, we did have a tie in our first map, so if USA were to win this one, we will go to Nepal to decide the series.
All right, so we have a lot of control ahead of us here. To start things off, we are on the night market part of Lijiang. Both teams going to be trading out poke. This early fight's so important as Gods does find that early pickoff, taking down Unfixed. It's going to let the US be a lot more aggressive here, X.
Yeah, for a second there, I thought Tailspin was going to peek around the corner, see if he can hook one of the members of Russia back towards him, get a second kill there for Team USA. But one is enough from Gods to get USA the point here early. Tailspin taking a nap there on the point, doesn't really matter. Nobody there to follow it up from Russia. You see Seagull pretty charged up here on Zarya, laying down tons of damage. Now Russia, though, they do have a nano boost here early, so you see that come in, and you see Shadowburn be the recipient of it. He's going to just get to the USA backline. He's able to get one. Reds with another. They're not actually able to take Shadowburn down. A fantastic, well-placed Ana grenade there coming in from Rubicon, keeps him alive, and gets Russia the point.
Russia fighting right back, but still, it was a pretty good opening here from the US. They get about 31, 32% on the point before it flips, so they can pull this back. The one thing about these control point maps is that so long as you have an advantage in terms of progress, you can hold off on your ultimates. You can make the other team burn theirs and then come with advantage. So for the US right now, they can actually rope-a-dope this, come in, don't burn anything, and let Russia use a little bit more of their war chiefs.
And I feel like if you do see USA use these ultimates, you will see it, that Graviton Surge from ANAC come right in, and Reds also does have that Earth Shadow to work with. It's going to be the Russian Graviton Surge coming down. Russia's going to invest a sound barrier into this as well. God's going to get taken out there by Unfixed. Unfixed switches things up. He goes from McCree to May. You see Shadowburn going to finish off one more player as well. So Russia holds on. USA, they hold on to the Graviton Surge. They hold on to a nano boost and a pulse bomb there. You see the pulse bomb actually coming out with the Graviton at the end of this fight. It's going to be Tailspin taking out 3. And can USA turn this in their favor, ZP? It looks like they will. A fantastic turn of events here in favor of Team USA.
That is the man himself, Ronnie Dupree. Tailspin coming in big, just absolutely decimating the back line of Russia. And just like that, a fight that really Russia should have won, turned on its head. That is the power of an all-star DPS player. And Tailspin having his moment here, putting the US back in control and Russia back on the back foot.
Well, you saw so much invested from the side of Russia. I mean, they even use a blizzard there towards the end as Unfixed switches things up back over to McCree. And they're not able to win that fight. Shadowburn diving in with the Death Blossom and the nano boost, just trying to stay alive. You see when he goes Wraith Form, just distracts all the members of USA, and that allows Unfixed to pick up one at range. Beautiful shots there connecting from Shadowburn onto Mezzer, and it's going to be Russia taking the point back. This has been so back and forth all series long between USA and Russia, ZP. And now coming into this next fight, you'll see Tailspin again with that Pulse Bomb. Do you want to save that for the Graviton? You think about using it here? Is it opportunistic? What's your thoughts going into this next fight?
I think you definitely don't save it for the Graviton here, in part because Zarya just switched off. Seagull not going to go for it. He was only at 31% anyways. So I think he's going to go a little bit more crazy with it, and does find Reds, takes him down. It's 2 quick kills here from the US. Graviton comes in a little bit late in the fight, sends up Shadowburn for 2, so still even back and forth. Seagull trying to make the most of it, but it's going to be Unfixed really getting a lot of good cleanup here on this McCree.
Yep, and he's going to have Deadeye. Not an important ultimate here. Obviously, it's going to be very hard to connect with anything. Seagull dives into the point, just causing a distraction, forcing the players from Russia back, and he bails out as the rest of Team USA starting to get back towards the center of the map. They know they have 2 players sectioned off from Russia. It's going to be the Shadowburn, and it's going to be Rubicon trying to make their way back. Shadowburn's going to come in. He's going to get nano boosted. He's going to use the Death Blossom as well. Picks up 2. Oh, he goes for a ride. Balls off the side of the map. And right there, you're going to see USA able to take the point back from Russia right when Russia thought they were going to take this first point.
And X, that's just double value, right? Like, you love knocking people off an edge anyways, but if you're going to knock off a Reaper, not just any Reaper, but Shadowbird, when he has nano boost, it doesn't get any better than that.
Well, Seagull now has Dragon Blade as USA inches back closer into this one, and we'll see when Seagull elects to bring this ultimate ability out. Reds, he's going to dart right through him. It's going to be Gods with 1. Here comes the Dragon Blade coming in from Seagull. Gods picking up 2. Seagull with 1. He's going to do a lot of damage to another. It's going to be Adam finishing him off, and USA close to taking this one back. It's going to be 2 members from Russia left on the point. It's going to be ANAC. He is so weak. Seagull trying to finish him off. Finally picks up the kill. It's going to be Reds falling as well. It's going to be Russia trying to get back to the point, trying trying to stall this out. Unfixed falls. Can USA hold on? It's going to be Russia just darting back in. Rubicon falls, but Shadowburn now coming in. He's going to clean up one, and now Tailspin trying to stay alive for USA.
Tailspin trying to bring it back. This has been so back and forth, but the heroics from Seagull at the very end got kill after kill in a very brawly situation, a small man skirmish. That is why Seagull is one of the best Genjis in the game, but what great play coming out from both sides. Amazing.
Yeah, Seagull 14-3 there on the first point. Shadowburn 17-5. We can take a look. This is the fight that we did not expect USA to win. It was a nano boosted Tracer with a pulse bomb taking out two, and then you're going to see Tailspin just get back, taking out another fantastic play there from Tailspin. That was a fight that opened up with Russia, picking up 2 or 3 kills at the beginning of it, and USA storming back, and that's what turned that first point in USA's favor.
And I think one thing that's pretty clear here is that if the first round is any indication, this is going to be a close one. Both teams throwing haymakers at each other. Now you take a look here, it's going to be Russia opening things up. Shadowburn now on his signature Genji. Seagull also on a Genji. Going to be a lot of blades being thrown about here in this round here, X.
Yeah, and USA, I mean, though, they switch off of McCree, which they've been doing a good job just taking down Shadowburn on his Genji, and we'll see the fight ensue over on the stairs. We'll see if not having the McCree ends up hurting Team USA early. It does not. It's going to be USA coming straight through Russia. Tailspin, I feel like, for me, ZP, has been such a difference maker for USA in this matchup. When he's been playing Tracer, it has been extremely effective.
Tailspin has come alive. There have been moments recently where people have said, well, gee, can we get a little bit more production out of Tailspin? But I will tell you this, knowing him for years, he is one of the best hit scan gamers you can find, and Tracer definitely fits him well, and he is really settled into a groove in this matchup and been one of the major weapons here for the United States. And speaking of weapons, Seagull about to have Dragon Blade up for this next fight. Pulse Bomb already up. The U.S. in a great position here to defend Russia once more.
Yeah, and Tailspin's going to use that Pulse Bomb. Not going to get anything for it. ANAC going to take a lot of damage there from Tailspin as you see him just darting in and out of the point, able to take out Rubicon. It's going to be the nano boost coming in from USA as well. Onto Messer, who switched things up. He was playing Reinhardt for most of the time. Now he's going to be playing Winston. USA wins that fight, and they have a ton of ultimates. Russia, I feel like, falling into a death trap here in this next one, ZP. When they try and push, they're going to run into a lot.
They're going to be running into a lot, but X, do I dare say there is an X factor here, which is Nano Boost Dragon Blade. Here we go. Shadowburn diving into the back, getting away from the Graviton, moves in, takes down Stir, looking for more, but his team in the backline is dying all around him.
Yeah, he only gets one with the Nano Boost and Dragon Blade combo. Unfixed just stands on the point. He knows the fight is over. So it's going to force Russia to reset. They invest 2 great ultimates into that one. They get nothing for it. USA, they do use the Dragon Blade there, and they use the sound barrier to sustain through the Russia ultimates, but USA still in control of the point, 78% and counting. And here comes the Graviton Surge from Russia. It's going to be Unfixed, darting through now. He's on Tracer, trying to take out the supports for USA. Stir is going to fall, but it's going to be Seagull and Messer picking up 1 kill each, and USA doing a fantastic job of weathering the storm, taking the fight to Russia. It's going to be Unfixed, just trying to stay alive. Seagull, though, doing a ton of damage on Genji, and this is not looking good for Russia. It's going to be 99-0 here in favor of USA. It's going to be Unfixed, just trying to dart back towards the point, but here comes the reinforcements for Russia.
Russia moving back in. This is do or die. If they get wiped out here, that's going to be in. You'll be the round. But Seagull being the Hope Destroyer. 3 kills here from Seagull, going into the back, just ripping Russia apart. And this round going to be going the way of the United States.
And I feel like Russia kind of lost that one when they used the Nano Boost and Dragon Blade combination. They got 1 kill for it, and USA was able to hold on strong to the point. I feel like once they used those ultimates and they got nothing, that was Russia's best chance to get it back, and USA wipes the board with them in the second round.
Well, there's this idea of windows, right? There is how much time you have left to contest, and then how much time you have with good resources. But look at the head-to-head here between Unfixed and Tailspin. Tailspin having a ridiculous game here on Lijiang.
Yeah, I mean, Seagull and Shadowburn are kind of like evening each other out. Well, Seagull is actually playing quite well, 34-4 right now, but you just see the difference in those secondary DPS players. Tailspin on Tracers really found something that works in this matchup. 33-4. We'll see what Russia here does to answer back, as you're going to have Unfixed now switch things up to Tracer. So You're going to have Tailspin on Tracer, on Fix on Tracer, and Shadowbird and Seagull will stay on Genji. So going to be a lot of aggression coming out from both teams here.
Is a good day to be an agile flanking class, and here comes Russia. Shadowbird taking out Mezar early on. It's a 5v4 in favor of Russia. They're pushing the US back, and they get the early kills they need to. A full team effort, everyone participating, and the US gonna have to give this one up.
Yep, Seagull just eventually going to be able to get wiped. And now Russia gets control of the point. Now it'll be USA's turn to try and break this. I wonder if USA tries to change anything up. I mean, with all these aggressive heroes coming out from the side of Russia, could USA change anything up in their comm CP that would make it a little bit easier to break this?
For right now, I think they'll stay as is. I do think a Reaper actually could be really good given the Winstons that are in play. But other than that, US, they're up 2 rounds right now. They're playing a little bit with the house money, so they can relax a little bit as they roll in once more. Tailspin, just hunting down Shadowbird.
Yeah, I mean, if they were to lose this one, right, you go back to a point you've already won. It's going to be Gods and Messer opening things up with a kill apiece. Seagull comes flying through with the Dragon Blade, able to get 2. And just like that, everybody falls from Russia. They only get 28% on the scoreboard. And now USA, they have their chance to hold here. It's going to be Adam with a sound barrier, Stir with a nano boost. But look on the side of Russia, they have a lot of ultimates that they can combine here to open things up.
Russia, their war chest is loaded. They have 28%. United States trying to put it back up, but right now you look at Russia, they are well armed to come right back in. And Shadowbird should be pulling out that Dragon Blade right here, right now.
Oh, and Shadowbird is going to town. He's just dicing through the opponents. He's able to pick up 4 there and has some teammates there. They're going to finish them off, but doing a lot of damage there with the Dragon Blade. They're trying to hunt Seagull down. They were able to take him out finally. Oh, that is just so filthy there out of Shadowbird. And teams just taking the point back and forth. Nobody can get a good hold.
So you asked me a while back what makes Shadowbird so good at Genji relative to a lot of other Genjis. That was a near maximum range dash hit. Let me tell you that a lot of Genjis cannot see it that well, but he saw the opportunity, went in, and took his head straight off. But here we go. Seagull coming in, a little bit of nano boost Dragon Blade on zone next as he gets the first pick on.
Yeah, and he goes high into the sky. He's able to get 1. He takes out both supports for Russia, so 2 big kills there from Seagull. It's going to just eliminate the sustainability on the side of Russia, and you see the rest of Team USA darting over towards the point. It's going to be Unfixed, the only one alive. He quickly falls, uses a pulse bomb there in the time being. USA gets control right back. So now we'll see. We'll take a look at Russia's ultimates. They just have the nano boost. It will be Shadowburn very close to the Dragon Blade, so he will have that. Look for that combination, and it would actually be pretty funny if Russia was able to take this back. No team has been able to get any type of defensive hold.
Here we go again. Shadowburn, nano boost Dragon Blade moving in, slicing through. The US has 2, sets up Rubicon and Unfixed, and back and forth we go here, X. What one team does, the other team does to the other.
This has looked like a Laker game. Absolutely no defense whatsoever. You will see now USA go on the attack, and they will probably break. As stay with the consistent theme of this 3rd point. USA, they have a very good chance to break this, and now you'll see ANAC though drops that Graviton Surge. Russia trying to get the first defensive hold here, and it's going to be 2 kills coming in for Russia. It looks like Mezzo's going to try and disengage there on Winston, trying to get up top into the sky, and Fix picks up 2, but Tailspin trying to do anything he can to swing things in USA's favor. They're hunting down Seagull as well. He's going to be able to not stay alive. I thought he was going to wait for his teammate to get back, but he quickly falls, and right there it's going to be Russia taking a point.
And what was the big X factor there? It was Unfixed coming in on the Tracer, where Tailspin was having a really good series on Tracer. And by the way, speaking of big plays, Shadowburn, Dragon Blade, Graviton.
Yep.
What more to say? Dragon
Blade, Sound Barrier, Graviton, usually a nano boost as well from Russia. That has been their best weapon as a team. Just supporting Shadowburn to the point where he cannot fall, and then just letting him just dart through opponents. There'll still be USA up 2-1 here in our 3rd map on Lijiang Tower. The chance to force a 4th map in a best of 3. I know it's kind of odd to say, but we had to draw on map number 1. It would be a Nepal best of 3 if USA is able to take 1 more round here on Lijiang Tower. Now, whoa!
Space jumping!
Well, there you go. Get a little bit more elevation there. Nah, we'll see the attack coming in, and look at how sneaky USA is being there, just hiding around the corner. You trying to bait Russia in, and now the attack going to come quick here from USA. It's going to be Seagull darting through. He doesn't get anything on the dash, but just trying to hunt down Rubicon in the back. He is quickly dealt with, though. It's going to be Shadowburn picking up 3 kills at the start. Is not what you wanted if you are USA. You were just letting him build his ultimate even faster. It'll be Russia taking the point.
That was a great engage from Russia. Shadowburn just cutting through to begin with, and it was really Reds and Anax setting it up as well. It was good Winston Zarya combination coming in there with Shadowburn, so a little bit of change up here for Russia. They are on the Tracer once more, so they have the U.S. a bit on the back foot. It's going to be curious to see if the U.S. changes anything up going forward, if they go back to a McCree, switching it back up to there. But for now, Russia in a very good position.
I would like to see USA bring out a McCree. I feel like Shadowburn has just hurt them too bad. It's going to be Tailspin opening things up, though, picking up that early first kill. And you see it's going to be Tailspin just diving through, taking out 2. Now he's going to be working down the opposing team's Winston. He's going to be able to take out Reds. And now you see USA, once they pick up the 3 kills, they get onto the point. You know, Russia has to bring the fight towards it to try and defend. They were able to clean up the kills, and USA gets control.
Indeed, and X, you know that our favorite movie is coming back on in just a moment here. Take a look at Rubicon, take a look at Shadowburn. Shadowburn is going to be using that combination once more, in all likelihood, diving right back in. The Rubicon under pressure, if he dies quickly, there will be no repeat of the movie. 2 quick kills, 4 kills, in fact, for the United States. Russia, a little bit too early in that engage. Yeah, now Russia, they do not burn any ultimates there, so it was a bad engage right there from Russia, but it does not hurt them that bad in the overall scope of the game because they have 6 ultimates up, ZP. They can combine the sound barrier, the nano boost, and the Dragon Blade with that Graviton Surge. Really cause a lot of problems. They can mess her up top just being all sneaky. The Graviton comes in. It's going to be Tailspin diving down, though, with the Pulse Bomb. Gets a lot of the members of Russia low, and this will be a good hold from USA. And we talked about how Russia had that ultimate advantage. It's quickly shut down. They use the nano boost. They use the Dragon Blade and the sound barrier there. Fantastic setup by USA. It was Gods with the perfectly placed Graviton there to really set up Tailspin. God showing that he is multi-talented, not just on the Kree, but having some good Zarya play here as well. And now the U.S. at 61%. We have a little bit of a sneak going on in the back. And Red saying, hey, no one's on this point. Russia coming in from the side, looking for a little bit extra. Boops ahoy here, though. Lucky no one got sent off the edge. Tailspin going to take down Godspeed, and the U.S. adjusting pretty well here, X. Yeah, but it's going to be all Team USA caught in that Graviton Surge at the front door. It's going to be Reds just trying to stay alive here for Russia. Swinging his arms as Winston, knocking players back. Team USA, though, still in control of the point. Oh, that was not where Reds intended to go there. Jumps off the side of the map. It's 90% and counting from Team USA. That's always unfortunate. We've seen that happen from time to time where you just get a little bit over-eager jumping in. But USA, 99% right now. This is Russia's last moment. They have to turn this around here, or they will be losing this map. Everything on the line here. Lijiang, and Mezar is getting the cleanup he needs right now, X. Yeah, he gets an nano boosted on the point. Now he's going to use that Primal Rage, just knock the members of Russia back, trying to keep them from contesting, and he does a fantastic job of that. It's going to be Team USA taking Lijiang Tower, forcing Nepal. And here's the interesting thing going to Nepal is that Nepal, of course, it's another control map. It plays very similarly to how Lijiang plays out. And look at Stir, man. Such a hand for the camera. Oh, he's all happy. They won. And he's been playing actually very good. I mean, this has got to be a lot of pressure on Stir, right? I mean, coming in as a streamer entertainer, you know, being mixed in with these pro players, it's got to be a little bit different going from solo queue to playing against Shadowburn. I imagine that's a little bit of an adjustment. But Stir's actually handled it quite well playing Liana. Stir's been good on support here. It's one of those things where, in general, supports don't get quite as much love just because they're not as flashy and more positioning, but Stir, for the most part, hasn't been nav position too often, has been getting good heals on his team, has been setting up Seagull with nano boost and all the rest, so Stir's been hanging in there. Yeah, Seagull was pretty good in that one. 61-9. I would say that's a fairly impressive scoreline. 20,000 damage. I would say he would definitely be the top performer if I were to pick.
out of the guys on Team USA and just the lobby in general.
I think it's close between Seagull and Tailspin there. Tailspin, a little bit less impressive on the stat line, about 1k less damage, a little bit less on the limbs, but he had so many big moments to break things wide open. I kind of want to give it to both of them at the same time.
Yeah, I feel like Tailspin just on Tracer has been extremely effective, and I don't think Russia has really adjusted anything in their comp to shut him down. I feel like just, you know, with the Genji and Tracer combination putting so much pressure, I feel like Russia's got to change something up here going into Nepal.
I do think they need to change something up. I do think that the move to having Unfixed on Tracer was pretty good. Now, the key thing about control maps is that you do have to be ready to be pretty adaptable there, right? Where sometimes you look at what the other composition is, maybe switch to something that's a little bit better dealing with it. Like, we saw very little Reaper, especially in the latter parts of Lijiang. I'd like to see probably a little bit more Reaper.
Yeah, I think on Nepal, you'll definitely see more Reaper coming out from the side of Russia. It looks like we are actually getting into the game. It'll be a Nepal best of 3 to decide this series, and ultimately it will decide the group here. So we will see Team USA coming out. They will have Gods on McCree, and Russia, just like you predicted, ZP, they will change things up. They will go over and have Shadowburn run Reaper, but if all things stand true, it'll be Tailspin running Roadhog, so that'll be something that Russia is not expecting.
Probably not, although I will say that for this map, you see a little bit more indoor type compositions coming out here in Sanctum, stuff that's a little bit better in a really close out fight. So it's not too surprising to see what we're seeing here. And also, Roadhog has the benefit where there's a lot of full spots where you can get insta-gibs with the hook, where you hook someone, they fall into the pit, that's it, they're gone, and that's effective even on high HP tanks.
And we'll see it from the POV of Russia here, what they're going to do coming into Nepal. It'll be Shadowburn just trying to assess the game plan of USA here, trying to gain some information, see which heroes they're running, and see what the best course of attack is. And just hiding behind his Reinhardt, you see all of the fights going down, trying to get control of the bridge.
And this is pretty common here for Lijiang, where people don't go to the point early on. They know that it exposes them to getting poked down more. Both teams sort of take a side, and they sometimes do a dance in and out, but hey, US right now, they're going straight to the point. They're taking that gamble. Russia gonna go in on them right now. We'll see if the gamble pays off as, take a look. Very aggressive coming in here from Russia as it's 1-1 for both teams.
Yeah, it's going to be a kill trade at a piece. Anak gets booped off the map there. You see Unfixed and Shadowburn, though, pick up a kill apiece. And here comes the nano-boosted Roadhog from the side of USA. It's going to be Tailspin on the point, just trying to stay alive with Messer. And it's actually going to be USA able to get control here. It's going to be Tailspin able to get one. So the tanks of USA have done a fantastic job here staying alive. Messer with Stir there in support. USA doing a fantastic job. That 3-man combo there was Stir, Tailspin, and Messer able to stay alive and get USA the point.
That was huge tank play coming out for them, just because they did lose teammates early on, but they were able to delay, back it up, still get control of the point, and as a result, the US now at 24% in a great position in terms of ultimates coming forward. But you take a look at Russia, it will be nano boost on the Shadowburn here in all likelihood in just a moment. So they're going to be very aggressive at rushing down the US. Adam, though, going to count the sound barrier, light is on the way.
Yeah, Unfixed trying to get control of the bridge here as McCree. Sound barrier is going to come in from Russia. It's going to be Shadowburn able to pick up 2. He gets that nano boost from Rubicon, and he goes to work. You see him though, he's going to fall off the side. It's going to be Adam with 2 boops off the map. Not enough though for USA. Russia gets control of the point.
Adam is very persistent about his boops on this map in particular. There was a recent game I casted where he was playing with C9, and he booped the same Reinhardt 3 times in a row. So persistent, and you know what? Reinhardt went off the edge on the 3rd time.
You see some nice boop there from Adam, and we can get it from his POV. You see there on top of the staircase, Reds and Rubicon go for a ride. Although that was quite nice, he dropped it very fast. Russia gets control of the point. See Seagull here, though. He's going to drop a Graviton Surge there. Going to be able to get one. It's going to be a whole hog there from Tailspin, just knocking Shadowburn back. For a second there, thought he was going to knock him off the map. Kills him before anything. So now when USA picks up these kills, they're going to work their way back towards the point. Gods with 1. USA just needs to stand on it. There'll be no fight here coming in from Russia. It's going going to be USA gaining control.
US will be having control here once again, and you take a look at both teams, they're relatively drained, so this one's going to be a little bit more by the book, a little bit more mechanical between both teams. Expect both teams to be a little bit tentative going in because they would like to have those ultimates up before hard engaging. Shadowburn at 60%, but look at how quickly Lana built up. Rubicon can have that nano boost up soon, and that could be the difference maker for Russia as they move forward on this fight.
Fix just trying to land some damage at range. You see a fantastic hook there from Tailspin on your screen. It's going to be Reds falling for the side of Russia. And that may be what USA needs to win this fight, 80% and counting. You're going to have Russia wait for their tank to get back in before they try and push. They're going to have one more attempt at this.
It is going to be their final attempt. They will have nano boost though into Graviton, so they have a good chance of taking this. Red's going to be leading the way, shielding his team as before. Oh no, Adam's going for it again. Doesn't quite get, but does set up his team. 2 other kills coming in from the US here, and it looking like they're going the whole.
Yeah, and a fantastic flashbang coming in there. It was Godspeed trying to go for the sound barrier on the side of Russia there. Might not have made the difference, but is able to land that get on the point. Maybe Russia stays alive for a little bit longer, forces a bigger fight with USA, but USA takes round number 1, 1 round away from taking this series.
So the US now in a great position moving forward. For those who are just tuning in, both teams won the one. Nepal is our tiebreaker right now. And you take a look at the United States, 2 rounds away from taking the series and claiming number 1 spot in their group.
It'll be USA switching things up. They'll get rid of the Roadhog. They'll have Tailspin go back to Tracer, where he's made such a big difference in this matchup. In Russia, they'll actually have Unfix switch over to May, so they'll keep the Reaper, they'll add a May. When you look at these 2 comps, what does that tell you, ZP?
It tells me that Russia's going for more control. They want control of the high ground here. They want to split up the US if they go for the high ground. And the US, knowing that the May is coming, they don't go for that, but Unfixed looking to split them all the same as Russia raining in poke from above.
Yeah, and it'll be Russia taking control of the high ground here early. See how they decide to just dump down an attack. It looks like they're just going to try and single out one target of USA, just unload damage on them, and then try and swoop down. The point is able to be captured now, and you see Seagull. He's going to be coming from behind of Russia, and it looks like he's going to be able to put out a lot of damage. He dashes through too. Messer cleans them up. Unfixed. Well, see you later, buddy. You're going to fall fast, and you see Gods, though, actually kills himself during that fight. Not intentional there. It's going to be USA getting the point. Seagull 7-1 right now, playing great here in our last map.
And that right there is the danger of taking the high ground, but then being a little bit too lackadaisical about it, because what happened is that Russia dove in against the US, and the US was actually positioned better to punish them from that angle. They should have stayed on the high ground a little bit longer, but Russia goes to the top once more. Winston again lead the way from the US. The US not really wasting too much time and going in. Seagull immediately takes down Rubicon.
Yeah, and Gods and Seagull just taking the fight to Russia. It's going to be Gods with 2. Seagull hunting for more, has the Dragon Blade, and you just see, I mean, the poke coming in from Tailspin from behind on the Tracer. It just puts Reds in such a difficult situation. He's trying to turn around and put pressure on the Tracer, has Genji in front of him. It is a no-win situation. As you see, USA, they win the fight. They're able to take Shadowburn down there at the end. It'll be Seagull with a Dragon Blade, Tailspin with a Pulse Bomb. USA has a lot to work with here. It is not looking good for Russia.
Russia in a really rough position right now. This next fight, what they really need to do, they can't open the sound barrier. If they do that, it's going to be bad. They need to just drain the US ults here. Seagull, Nano Boost, Dragon Blade on the way, immediately takes down Reds, looking for more. But at least for Russia here, X, they haven't really used too much in the way of resources for this.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't used much, but USA still holds on to a decent amount there too. They have that combination of the Graviton Surge and Pulse Bomb to use in this next fight. I mean, Russia, as soon as they use probably the sound barrier, they'll get that Nano Boost. As soon as the Nano Boost comes in on the Shadowburn with the Death Blossom, I mean, USA is just going to use this Graviton Surge, and you would think Russia gets nothing out of that.
It's very likely. It depends on how God sets this up. He is going to get the Graviton. Pulls in forward. Tailspin from behind. The Pulse Bomb is in and sets up beautifully. Shadowburn, though, counter Death Blossom on the way. Has a 3-kill of his own. This is getting very bloody, very fast. Shadowburn
just trying to stay alive. It's 95% and counting for Team USA. Gods picks him up. There's one member from Russia around the corner. They're going to get a contest here. It's going to be Unfixed, darting in on Tracer. The members of USA just trying to stay up. Here comes Russia, trying to push in one more time. Here comes the Graviton Surge from the side of Russia. Reds with 2, Gonsby with 1, and Max able to deal with Seagull, and Russia in the final seconds here taking the point back. You see Unfixed darting through, not going to push all the way for Stir, but Russia in the final seconds, just when USA saw the win in their grasp, take it away for the time being.
So for Russia, every fight now is do or die. Sure, they can lose this round and still come back, but they don't want to be in that position. They really need to win every fight here on this stage. Right now, they're pressuring the US as they come in. They're not giving them early entry. They take down Mezar and they push them back.
Yeah, and it's going to be Unfixed picking up one there, able to take out Stir. Seagull uses the dragon. Seagull getting uses the Dragon Blade there. Shadowburn getting close to his Dragon Blade. It's going to be Tailspin on the point. He is so weak. They're going to be able to clean him up. And now I think it gets into a dangerous territory for USA. You can't panic. You got to stack some ultimates, and then you got to make one good push.
And the good thing for them, X, is that they do have that luxury where they can go for more junk rushes. Like right now, they should save ultimates going to the next fight. Make Russia burn some of their stash. They have 50% remaining. But here we go, US, they're gonna go in. They're out for blood. Soundbearer is in. Shadowburn though, Dragon Blade later on, looking for the punch, has the nano boost, takes down one and is looking for more.
Yeah, and it was Russia. They were able to survive the nano boost from USA, and Shadowburn gets a nano boost of his own, dashing through the opponents. Had the Dragon Blade to work with at the end there, picking up some kills with the Shurikens. And it's going to be Russia now. Since getting control, holding strong, they get this high ground. Shadowburn going to try and dash forward, build his ultimate a little bit faster, putting down some damage. And now USA, I feel like we're starting to get into a dangerous territory, ZP. It's going to be 80% for Russia here in the second point.
This is effectively going to be the final attempt here for the US. Too much time has gone by, so this must be successful. Mezar holding on primal range. He's going to initiate with this here in just a moment. Seagull should be able to get Dragon Blade on mid-fight. Key for the US, they can't lose people early. Soundbearer in from Russia as they try and defend.
Yeah, and it's actually Tailspin who actually gets behind enemy lines, and he's able to get control of the point here for USA. So now it's going to be Russia's job to get back in, and Shadowburn picks up two with the Dragon Blade, and here he goes. He's starting to find some more. He's going to be able to just wipe the floor with USA. It's going to be Russia getting the point back. Got a little bit dangerous there when Tailspin's able to get control, but it's going to be Russia mounting a comeback there, tying this one up at 1 apiece. We're going to get one more round on Nepal to decide the match and the group.
And the key there for the US going in is that they need, I think, to play that a little bit slower, where again, they were waiting on a few very key ultimates to come up. By the way, instant replay, Unfixed, moving in. Pulse bomb out, doesn't get too much from that, but gonna drop down, get right to the back line and just lay in damage on everyone in this Graviton.
Yeah, once you saw the Graviton come down, would have liked to maybe have the Pulse Bomb for that. Used the Pulse Bomb a little bit early there, just did a lot of damage on that Winston shield, but one more round. You'll have Gods going over to McCree, and you'll have Tailspin going over to Roadhog. So what that tells me, definitely worried about Shadowburn's Genji and Unfixed's Tracer.
Absolutely, and really this could go either way, where we've seen Gods have some great McCree play earlier, but sometimes McCree's can get isolated out pretty easily on control point maps. There's an art form to it, because even though he's great at putting out damage, you can catch him off guard. So for Russia, they're going to be trying to flank him from both sides. So a lot is going to be riding here on Gods, the support he gets, and the shots he lands.
Yep, and he's able to take Shadowburn there out fast. Nice shots coming in from Gods. Cannot ask for a better start from the McCree player for Team USA. That's going to force Russia to back up on Fixtures, trying to put some damage down on Tracer. Needs to get out with his life. It's going to be USA getting in control of the point.
And how could they not with that incredible early pickup from Gods, just doming Shadowburn immediately. Russia, though, they do have respawns in. They're pushing right back into the US. US a little bit ahead on ultimates, but when Seagull goes down early enough, Shadowburn gets the follow through. 2 kills from Russia, and they strike right back.
Yeah, and as soon as Shadowburn drops on Genji right away, he switches things up, goes back to Reaper. That allows him to get that nano boost, obviously dash straight through the opponents, pick up some kills, and now it's going to be Russia in control of the point. See, Gods does have that Deadeye. Stir will have the nano boost, so expect to see a nano boost onto Mezar, let him get out of the point, swing around with Reinhardt, maybe pick up a kill or two, make things easier for his teammates to follow up.
And that is pretty likely to happen, where Stir has been pulling the Nimbus for all, but here comes the Graviton into the Pulse Bomb. They're able to shield the worst of it off. No kills resulting from that Big Bang combo, and Tailspin now getting to work the back line. Takes down Rubicon and sets up the US. The Soundbearer is down. Gods gets the pick off he's looking for. A 6v4, now 6v3 for the US X, and they will be pushing Russia back.
Two just absolutely sick shots there from Gods. Takes down 2 members of Russia, and the point turns back in favor to Team USA. This one going to come right down the wire. You saw USA use their nano boost there on to Seagull on Zarya, who's fully charged up, just putting down a lot of damage. Messer has that Earth Shatter, so they do have a Graviton, and they do have a Pulse Bomb to use here. And then if you see a big push coming in from Russia, look to see that Earth Shatter.
They're going to be looking for that Earth Shatter, but Seagull right now holding the back, surveying the battlefield, looking for the Graviton, puts the Graviton against the wall, and here comes Tailspin once more, a special delivery, 2 people going down, and United States pushing Russia back once more.
Yeah, and it's going to be Tailspin just hunting down Rubicon. Needs to use the recall, but Messer there, able to land a punch right to the mouth. Takes down Rubicon. And we do have USA holding on here. A good defensive setup for Team USA. They hold on to the Earth Shatter there. We can take a look at Russia. What are they working towards? They have the nano boost. You're far away from the Dragon Blade here, ZP, so you think you're going to have to use the nano boost on another hero potentially, or just save it to the end, and it's going to be Winston getting nano boost for Russia, and it's going to be Reds just diving in, putting down a ton of damage.
Well, you called it right there. They didn't want to put it on Shadowburn there. They decided to throw it on Reds, and it worked out beautifully. Russia now with a big advantage here in this fight. Shadowburn getting a little bit clean up towards the end, taking down Stir, and just a back and forth slugfest, but Mezar taking 2 down before falling, still holding on this point, finally going down, and that's really big here, X, because now the U.S. should be able to reinforce a little bit more quickly as Gods comes in over the top.
Yeah, and you actually see Tailspin getting onto the point. It's going to allow Russia not to take it back right away, and here comes the reinforcements for Team USA, so they're doing a fantastic job stalling it out. The percentage still building for Team USA, getting to 98% here. See a Graviton, though, coming in. It's going to be unfixed. Getting inside of it, he's going to be dropping a Pulse Bomb in, able to get 1. He's going to take out Tailspin 2. So here's where Russia can take control here. USA all falling, but USA did a fantastic job just stalling out there. It went from like 87% all the way up to 99 just by that stall tactic.
And the fruit of their labor here is that all they need here, X, is one more fight to take this round. One good team fight, and that'll be it, because they are at 99%, and they have tools they need for that. They do have the Graviton, they have the Earth Shatter, but they are running into the Dragon Blade Nano Boost combo with the Sound Bearer. So for them, I think they can have one bit of a junk rush and then come in really strong. We'll see if they do just that, but it's going to be close.
I mean, if they do have a junk rush, USA, they got to go fast. I mean, it's 71% here for Russia, and this one round will decide our series, ladies and gentlemen. You see the Nano Boost coming in here in just a few seconds on the Shadowburn, and there it is. You saw that play bound to happen. It's going to be Shadowburn, though, stuck inside the Graviton, dashes straight through. He's able to get 2, trying to hunt down 1 more. Adam just trying to stay alive, not going to be enough. Shadowburn dives through another one, has Gods up top. Shadowburn just absolutely going crazy here, diving through USA, trying to secure the group for Russia.
And that was beautiful from Shadowburn. What a way to end this round. Shadowburn coming in big for Russia, putting them on top, and it will be Russia taking that #1 seed.
Yeah, Russia with a dominant performance there, and that last point, specifically Shadowburn. You saw him start off on Genji, switch things up to Reaper, but it's his Genji in the end that is just too much for USA to handle.
And credit where credit's due, though. The U.S. had great play across the spectrum from most of the players that we expected to see it from, and I gotta say an extra shout out to Gods, because over the course of the series, his play was great.
Yeah, I thought Gods and Tailspin. I thought Tailspin was very effective when running Tracer. He finishes off the last one 36-11. It is not enough to shut down Shadowburn. 40-11 on the side of Russia. Let's go over to the desk to break down that incredible series.
Thank you so much, Mr. XDP. You guys go take a break, because that was, I think, the longest possible match we could have. We had a tie at the very beginning with a score of 0-0 going into our second map. We took it all the way to the tiebreaker on Nepal, but let's take it all the way back to the very beginning after we go over the group standings, which puts Russia 3-0 at the top, and then US falling shortly behind.
Yeah, another somewhat surprise, I would say. Spain obviously topping Group A, now Russia topping Group B. It makes the second seed draws somewhat interesting. Everybody's going to be looking to avoid, I don't know, maybe Sweden, maybe USA. Obviously, you got South Korea and Finland coming next, but let's talk about this game, because, my God, have we seen some moments in there. We had the whole Seagull versus Shadowburn, little duel going on between them. Some absolute epic moments from Gods with the McCree, Gods with the Zarya, Gods with everything else.
Right.
Shadowburn at the end with a superhero play effectively on Nepal. Back and forth we could go. We could run through pretty much so many of these players, but I think we should just we need to spin back. We just had 4 maps.
It was an
4
evolution.
epic maps.
It was an evolution, so we need to talk about where they were on the first map, I think.
Yeah, we'll start with that. First of all, you know, I sort of teased about this idea of the Zarya players and a lot of teams actually playing a pocket pick and coming out with that one. I sort of hinted it at Seagull. I think we saw that a little bit here as well. But let's roll back to Hanamura. What I love about this is that Shadowburn is using the expectations of his opponents against them somewhat, right? So at the start of Hanamura, we actually saw Shadowburn on Tracer. Now, this isn't a super common occurrence. And on FaZe, normally I think it was too easy, actually. Would normally play the Tracer. But we saw that. Now, USA had already locked in like a Roadhog, a May comp. Now, Genji doesn't do a lot against Roadhog, so this is why USA kind of want to counter that out. They're very ready. You saw they were quite often playing Roadhog McCree to deal with Shadowburn, but Shadowburn already had Tracer locked in as well, who is quite good against Roadhog, generally speaking, can at least do a little bit more damage and evade retaliation better than Genji sometimes up close and personal. But we saw Gods then switch over towards McCree from the Roadhog because they wanted to keep the Ana in there as well. So, I mean, there's a replay here as well we can show you guys. It's more just an illustration of how we saw the switch back to Genji for Shadowburn after we saw sort of God switch around here. And this is where he really broke them open. I mean, and this is just one of many, many clips from Shadowburn. It's a bit of a meme that he says people don't play around him here. He goes and does his own thing, but he forces his opponents to play around him. And that's obviously the biggest thing when you want to manipulate your opponent's lineups, their team compositions, and have the way that they use their hero pools. Are we going to see Seagull forfeit the Zarya to go to a Genji to try and challenge him like we saw there? You know, does that mean God's going to have to go to Zarya himself? Then where's the McCree going to come from? There are all these implications from just one switch from Shadowburn that can affect and ripple out for the whole match and over both teams.
Yeah, very well said.
follow that?
I was just like, all right, well, my job's done. I'm going to go home, have an early day. No, so I want to touch on, I guess, the way Russia went into the whole match, because it seems like they had a really good game plan. When we went to Hanamura, the defensive setup they went for was around triple DPS and around forcing the US to fight against them in their own kind of terms, like kind of fighting a tight quarter area. The problem was the comp they were against with a Zarya and a Tracer kind of leads you to you're going to hit a certain point where you just can't contest that. You just don't have the sound barrier up time and time again to counter the comp that's going to be, or the ultimates that are going to be coming your way. So it was kind of a composition that you would eventually lose on. And then eventually they did win the map, or they did tie the map, so it really didn't matter in the end anyways. But I want to touch on Gods in particular, because him and Tailspin known to be a projectile player for the most part, put a lot of Tracer, but him switching to Roadhog and Gods flexing to Zarya, McCree, showing a lot of different heroes in his pool, really showed how damn good he is as a player. We saw him shut down Shadowburn so many different times. There were so many air shots he was able to pull off with the tracking that just kind of limited to the way Shadowburn could play. Hence why we see Shadowburn switching around a couple of different heroes himself. Considering how Gods is a teamless player with, was it Numlocked and Clockwork coming into NRG, him and Pooks have to find some new teams, and maybe this is his chance to really show out what he can play.
So you're saying he's padding his kill reel here?
I mean, if I saw something like that, and I was a team looking for a player, like for instance Fnatic with losing IDD QD, that would be like a definite person I would want to look at.
Scrambling to pick him up, a guy that can play multiple roles, like you say. He was a big shining light for the USA there, but Russia were the ones that won it, and they took it on Nepal. And considering when you look at Nepal on the second map especially, they were down at overtime 99% to 0. They were almost done and dusted, and then the last bit of a superhero play came in, held out the point, and then in Nepal they just looked solid overall.
Well, I think it was Route 66 where we finally saw Russia kind of hit their stride. Hanamura, they were going toe-to-toe with US, but this is where we really saw them pull out some strong counters.
I'd love to show a replay for this one there as well. We just queued this one up. Obviously, it was ultimately Russia that managed to sort of win that map out there. The Tailspin, the guy on the screen, actually, at the end, he was a little bit too preoccupied with Unfixed, who was using Deadeye in the back to get on the payload and keep the game going, but the lineup here as well for USA is interesting. We don't always see this, right? You've got Seagull Genji, you've got Gods McCree, and you've got Tailspin on Tracer. Now we'll roll the clip and you can see what Tailspin's trying to do. Now the rest of the USA is still coming around the bend here. He's trying to sneak himself in position. Notice there's no Winston here for the USA, so they're not trying to dive on top here. They're not trying to directly engage. Tailspin wants to try and split their focus a little bit more and allow the rest of USA to get around the corner essentially unscathed. Ducking in and out, he eventually goes head-to-head with Shadowburn. So he's occupied Shadowburn, which then, you know, frees up the mental bandwidth a little bit more for the USA as they set up, and this fight ultimately does go in their favor, even though it's a little bit of back and forth between these two here.
I think Tailspin, though, is actually looking for a kill on a Rubicon onto the Ana. If he could pick him off or get him low enough that we could have Seagull dive in with Genji, that's a quick kill onto the Ana, to the big support. Not only gives you a man advantage, gives you the healing advantage, but also prevents their Ana from building up an ult % advantage over yours. So I think that's what they were trying to go for, get that nice little pincer move onto him, but Shadowburn just being really cognizant of what was happening around him, knowing that they had a Tracer, but not knowing exactly where it was, kind of expected it and kind of looked towards the back.
Okay. Well, the points in mind that you brought up, Mitch, I mean, we went on into Lijiang Tower, and this is where things really started to sort out back in USA's favor.
Yeah, I thought Mesra was excellent on that map. I mean, we're looking at sort of Hanamura now as well, but Mesra needs to be given a shout-out for his Reinhardt play, actually, on Lijiang Tower and on Nepal. He was putting a lot of damage in, and it actually wasn't until Seagull switched towards Genji, I believe, on Nepal in general, that he started to out-damage Mesra. His first round on Nepal was excellent, did a lot of damage. That was on Sanctum, which is a really important map for your Reinhardt to be firing here. But again, I mean, like Jason pointed out there as well, Gods is definitely worth looking at here as well. I mean, a good little highlight reel to be showing off to teams here. Seagull, of course, making switches over towards Tracer on and off. ANAC deserves a bit of a mention as well. Again, just his Zarya play has been really good, and I think he brings so much to this team, not only as a caller and a more experienced player, but as just a rock-solid Zarya. I mean, this is a very well-rounded team from Russia, and you can see why they managed to get the win.
And when you're like the in-game leader for your team, you need to know what everyone on your team can really bring to the table, right? You need to know what they're going to be comfortable on, what they can flex to. And speaking of that, Unfixed flexed to Tracer, which was a big turning point for Russia, because it allowed him to play a little bit more aggressive. It allowed him to help Shadowburn a little bit more, because I feel like Unfixed wasn't necessarily too comfortable against Seagull and Genji, necessarily too comfortable on Gods with his, well, for lack of a better word, his godly McCree that he was pulling off. So the slight switch arounds done by ANAC and done by them in general really worked out for him.
Well, this is fantastic to watch. I think this was finally the game. You know, we'd hyped up a lot of matches on our schedule today, but this one certainly lived up, went above and beyond.
I swear, if I had a fantasy bracket for this, I never would have expected the results that we had today actually happen, because I think we all had USA to be the favorites in this match.
Yeah, I mean, like Nepal kind of was the defining factor, because we talk about USA so strong on Lijiang Tower. It's like it's another control map. You know, ZP highlighted it perfectly. It's like if you're a USA fan, you're feeling pretty good about going over to yet another control map. But things changed very, very quickly. The first round was great for USA, but I mean, look at this: Shadowburn and Unfixed, right? Genji Tracer, they found their niche. They really started to get that rolling, and Gods played an excellent McCree on this map as well. The start of Shrine especially, he was hitting so many shots, but again, sometimes as McCree, it's frustrating. You can't always convert the headshots into kills, especially if they're being healed up or you're being forced into sort of tighter angles and out of the fight, because you're a little bit vulnerable up close without a flash.
Absolutely. Anything else you gentlemen want to add? I mean, there was a lot to talk about here. I don't want you to miss any points.
Just mainly, should probably highlight Tailspin a fair amount, because he was also on point there. We saw him with Tracer just at the end of the highlight there. Especially on the control maps, he was definitely hitting the, especially, I would say, for Lijiang Tower. Lijiang Tower, he absolutely excelled. Him and Seagull were working well as a pair. So obviously, as much as we can highlight Gods, we need to mention there are other guys in the team that were also doing it. But unfortunately, when it got to Nepal, Shadowburn took over.
Yeah, I was enjoying the Shadowburn Seagull play while it lasted. They were having a lovely duel. I saw it on Hanamura. We saw it a couple times throughout. Oh, incredible. But thank you, both teams, for an incredible round of Overwatch. When we come back from the break, we're going to have Germany versus Chile. Don't go anywhere. That was nuts.